Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome to all those who are here joining us in our sanctuary. Thank you to all those who are joining on stream. We're so happy that you are with us. We are going to begin our service with words that are taken right out of this week's Torah portion. You'll hear more about that later. But if you'd like to follow along, they are on the bottom of page 343. Oziva Zimratya Vayehili Lishua. God is my strength and my might. God will be my salvation. Ozi Vezimratya. I think I did that, yeah.
How about now? How's that?
No?
No? Okay, well,
There we go.
There we go. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We can really start now. And whether you're here with us in the sanctuary, whether you are in your own sanctuary at home, joining us wherever you are comfortable, we wish you a very warm welcome on this Shabbat evening. And our service will continue as we invite the parents of tomorrow morning's B'nai Mitzvah to join us on the Bima to light the Shabbat candles, Larry and Jen Beagleson. As we light these Shabbat candles, we link ourselves with the generations of our people who have kindled these holy flames. Time passes quickly, and we take this moment to pause and express our gratitude. We stand here as a family, with humility and with love for this occasion, for one another, and for being part of this sacred community. As we participate in this age-old ritual, we embrace this moment as we move forward in the cycle of our lives. Yesterday we held our sons in our arms, and tomorrow they will be called to the Torah as B'nai Mitzvah. Grateful for all the precious gifts in our lives, we kindle the Sabbath lights. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen. Ozi v'zimrat yah, vayihili lishua. This quote from the Song of the Sea, the Israelites' song of freedom, tells us that God is our strength and our salvation. Zimrat Yah, the song of God. What a beautiful idea. That music, song, the act of lifting our voices in beautiful sacred noise can indeed strengthen and even save us. It is the Israelite song, which we'll hear more about later in our service, that sings the nation of Israel into freedom and into being. Their first moments of freedom are framed not by speeches or by ceremony, but by song. So as we welcome Shabbat, and this Shabbat is called Shabbat Shirah, the Shabbat of song, we continue to lift our voices together, and perhaps we too can be strengthened by the healing power of music, of community, and of God. So we'll turn now to page 13 in your prayer books as we continue with Kabbalat Shabbat, and we welcome the Sabbath bride into our midst. Shir Chadash. Try this with us. Try that with us. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash. Sing unto God all the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. To God, and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Shiru, Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash. Shiru. Turning ahead to page 20, we continue with Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala pene Shabbat, nekabla. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצולה. תוך אמונה עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
As we turn ahead in our prayer books, page 145, for those who are joining us from home, our online prayer book is found in the chat or on our website. Page 145, we rise for the Chatzi Kaddish.
יתקדש שמי רבה, אמן. בעלמד יברך חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון ויומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל. בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. ברכו את אדוני המבורך, ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
Page 147, we join together in the Hebrew. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chokhmah poteach she'arim, uvitvuna mishane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umisader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem barakir kirtzono, bo'rei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or.
ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו. אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב ערבים.
Page 148, the middle of the page, we pray responsively in the English. In each age we receive and transmit Torah. At each moment we are addressed by the world.
In each age, we are challenged by our ancient teaching. At each moment, we stand face to face with truth.
In each age, we add our wisdom to that which has gone before. At each moment, the knowing heart is filled with wonder.
In each age, the children of Torah become its builders and seek to set the world firm on a foundation of truth. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levacha v'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Veshinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'veitecha, u'lechtecha b'derech, u'v'shochbecha u'v'kumecha, u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot be'einecha, u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim le'elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim L'hiyot lachem Elohim, Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem, Emet.
Each week, we arrive at this moment in our liturgy. We have been called together by the Baruch Hu, given thanks for creation with the words of Mari Varavim, affirmed our belief in one God with the Shema, and put that belief into practice with the mitzvot described in the Ve'ahavta. Unlike the other prayers in our liturgy, Mi Chamocha retells a historic and revolutionary moment in our people's sacred story. Our Song of Freedom is taken from this week's Torah portion, from Shirat Hayam, the Song of the Sea. This section of Exodus, which Owen and Zach will chant tomorrow morning, is liturgical song, short verses of text, which are not written as prose, but as poetry. There is even a special tune that is used to chant its beautiful words.
Mi chamocha v'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar v'kodesh, noror teilot osef eleh.
But Mi Chamocha is not merely a history lesson. It is a lesson that continues and unfolds for us today. When the Israelites left Egypt, we know the story from our Seder tables. They escaped in a hurry. It says, upon touching the dry ground and singing the song of the sea alongside Moses, his sister Miriam picked up a timbrel in her hand, and all the women went after her to dance with their own timbrels. Now, the text doesn't say more, but you might wonder, how in the world did Miriam have the foresight to pack a tambourine when the rest of the Israelites were awoken in the middle of the night with the instructions to pack and leave immediately? They didn't even have time to let the dough rise to make bread. before hurrying off into the unknown. So this week I learned one answer to that question from a colleague who shared the following midrash, which says, "Why do they have timbrels in the wilderness? Because the righteous always know and are assured that the omnipresent one will perform miracles and mighty deeds." Somehow Miriam knew that no matter where they were headed, there would be cause for singing. In Miriam's faithful heart, the celebration was promised long before the story was ever written. Now, I don't know about you, but there have been a lot of days in the last 2 years, and some recently, that I have forgotten to pack my tambourine. I don't forget my wallet or my keys, God forbid my phone or my trusty KN95 mask. But I walk into the world not so prepared to sing. It is very easy to feel despondent these days, like we are in the middle of the plagues instead of walking through the sea. And just when we get to the shores, we're thrown back into Egypt with variants and all kinds of unexpected news. But it's time to pick up your timbrel. If you forgot yours tonight, that's okay. Within all of us, there is that potential for song, to lift up what is beautiful and redemptive and powerful, I promise. Tonight is Shabbat Shirah, a special pause from the week, when we have an extra reminder of the faith of our ancestors in times of darkness and pain. So let's sing. Let's sing that song of freedom and redemption. And in this special version of Mi Chamocha, which was written by our former cantorial intern Cantor Jacob Nami, we'll again hear the beautiful sound of our Torah melody sewn into this rendition of Mi Chamocha, page 152.
Sing the song of men and women, joined in understanding and respect. The song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content. Her soldiers home to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed. The song of peace. 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 Mi chamocha bailim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, norot ilot osef eleh. Mi chamocha bailim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, norot ilot osef eleh. Malchutecha ra'u banecha, bokei hayam. Lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, ze Eli
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomrenu l'chaim. Give us a place to rest, O God. Shelter us in the long, soft evening shadows of your truth. You are true protection and safety. In your presence we find love and acceptance. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours.
Baruch atah Adonai, haporeh sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim.
We take this moment in our Shabbat evening service to think about those in our midst who are ill, in need of a mishaberach lecholim, prayer of healing for the mind, the body, the spirit, the world. Tonight, we send our thoughts and we send our prayers to Cindy Baker and Ira Bernstein, Ed Goldberg, Al and Tilly, Ivy Kirschenbaum, Naomi Batsara, David Rothman, Teresa Schlossberg, Tammy Schwartzberg, Shmuel Ben Rivka, and Eliana Leora Bat Shoshana Leah. To those members of our own Bnai Jeshurun community, we add those you are holding in your own hearts, in your own circles of friendship and community. And if there's someone you'd like to pray for, in our community to pray for, as my eyes meet yours, we invite you to share their name and your relationship with that person. Prayers for healing. Alex, please. Thank you. Bill. Thank you. If you're at home, we invite you to share the name of someone you are thinking of as we turn to the outside back cover of your prayer books to join in our prayer for healing, the Mishaberach. Page 155, we rise for the blessings of the Amidah.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ופיה גיד תהילתך. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avoteinu v'Imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei HaKol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevii Geula livnei bneihem, Leman Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol, Atah Rav le'Hoshia, Mechalkel Chaim bechesed, Mechayei HaKol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofech olim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishnei afar. Michamocha ba'al gevurot, Umido melach, Melech memit umechayeh, Umatzniach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lehachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, U'kedoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
Our Amidah continues with our prayer for peace. Shalom Rav, page 164.
Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon, lechol hashalom. Atah hu melech adon, lechol hashalom. Shalom rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Shalom rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. V'tov Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Tasim.
One more midrash from our Torah this week. There is a teaching that the Song of the Sea is one of 10 songs that the Israelites sang throughout their history. They provided a marching beat for the Israelite people who had every reason to give in to hopelessness. But oddly enough, the Midrash only lists 9 songs tied to biblical stories. The rabbis ask, what about the 10th? The 10th, the Midrash foretells, is in the time to come. As it says in Isaiah, we will sing a new song unto God. The 10th song, it hasn't been written yet, nor do we know when the time will come for us to sing it together. Shabbat is our moment for reflection from the week that has passed, the songs that we sang in the week that has come. And we hold the space for that 10th song, the song of what we want most in the world. And we take these next few minutes for silent prayer and reflection, even the sound of our own song, a new song to God that we will be singing in our own hearts. We pray in silence.
Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol
Shabbat Shalom. It's good to see so many of you here, and I always Love knowing there's a good contingency from my home state, thanks to the Beaglesing family. So Shabbat Shalom to all, of course, that are here, and of course, those that are joining us via the live stream. We know there's so many of you at home. So if you received an email from me in the last couple weeks, it likely had a couple parts to it. It probably started with something along the lines of hoping that you and your loved ones are staying healthy, given the state of our world. And the email may also have included, knowing the time of year it is, a celebratory Happy New Year. It feels weird to include both of these elements, but they both seem necessary right now to name. That we are all trying our absolute hardest to stay healthy and safe, and even though we know it's a scary world with Omicron numbers yet to drop, and also necessary to acknowledge that we are in a new year, full of new opportunity and a fresh start, something that we wish the absolute best for. We are all right now holding two honest truths at once, one of celebration and one of maybe concern. There's the belief that wisdom is the ability to hold two truths, but it's not always so easy to do that. It's not just from a place of knowledge, but rather what it means to hold two truths in our souls, the truths of feeling and emotion that pull our hearts in different directions. I find that one of the most challenging is to balance the feeling of joy and celebration with the pain points happening in our world. It should be easy to celebrate, but sometimes celebration can include a sense of guilt or can be attached to an incredibly complicated time. What does it mean to celebrate in this time that we are currently living? To experience joy when others are in pain or when we ourselves may be in pain? To experience happiness when there is immense worry? Are there stipulations around celebrating? I sure hope that's not the case, but we also can't be blind to that other truth, the other realities of our world. This weekend, we see multiple different instances of holding celebration in one hand with an opposing feeling in the other. First, in this week's Torah portion, we balance celebration with a complicated loss. It's the story of the Israelites crossing the Red Sea, the well-known story of leaving the narrowness that was slavery in Egypt and heading onward towards the Promised Land. And as has been mentioned throughout our service this evening, in this Torah portion we read the Song of the Sea. We actually sing it. After the Israelites crossed the sea, the Israelites sang. They sang as an expression of faith and their recognition of God's role as a protector and a warrior. Then what follows that is another song, the Song of Miriam, who leads the Israelites in joyous song and dance and celebrated in praise of God as the sea closed and they arrived safely to the other side. Yet alongside that joy, the Israelites also held more than enough reason for tears. From their spiritual high of song and dance, they can't forget the sight that they saw. The way God returned the waters to their normal state, and in the process, covered and drowned the Egyptians and their chariots and their riders. Not one member of Pharaoh's army remained. And while this was indeed the army the Israelites were escaping, the Talmud tells us that God does not rejoice over the downfall of the wicked. So as the Israelites celebrate, they hold with them the reality of loss and of grief, because it was simply impossible to ignore. A second event this week, on Monday, we celebrate the birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Once again, a day that is not without its tension, holding a celebration in one hand and a yearning, conserve, and striving for more in the other. This day is to lift up the work and remember the struggles of the civil rights movement. A day to acknowledge both how far we have come and how much there is left to go. This year especially, that celebration doesn't exist alone. The King family, Martin Luther King III, Andrea Waters King, and Yolanda Renee King, along with faith leaders, civil rights leaders, and voting rights advocates, are indeed holding that celebration, but just as fiercely, they feel the need for more. The way they are encouraging communities to honor Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy is by participating in a call to encourage elected officials to pass voting rights legislation in Washington and in states around the country. Though their initiative is called No Celebration Without Legislation, the goal is actually not to keep from honoring a hero on his birthday, but rather how important it is to hold these two truths in parallel, that we do have so far to go while recognizing how much has been done. Our tradition teaches this value of balance, the most powerful and clear of which is through, I believe, the poetry of Kohelet, the book of Ecclesiastes. It's a book that actively searches for verifiable truths about life. It places birth and death, harm and healing, tearing down and building up, crying and laughing, and seeking and losing, to name a few, in direct conversation with one another. And even here tonight, as we welcome in Shabbat together, our prayer service often requires us to hold things like a prayer for healing for those that are here observing a loss, our prayers for peace, all things that acknowledge all that is hard about our world, alongside with the celebration that is Shabbat. Usually, in non-COVID times, we engage in an oneg, a kiddush following services by whose meaning is actually translated to joy. Shabbat is a joyous day. It's a joyous day that includes moments of prayer that don't quite feel like they encompass that joy. Right now, it feels more important than ever to find the balance and recognize both truths, to celebrate moments that deserve celebration, to seek out joy in hard places, and to truly experience the happiest moments of life. And, at the same time, to hold in the other hand and not ignore the rest of life's realities. It's the time to pray for health and safety, and also the time to wish everyone a very happy New Year. As we sing the Song of the Sea, may the Israelite story guide us in knowing how to keep that sense of balance, that sense of peace, and most importantly, that sense of truth. Shabbat Shalom.
Holding all of those, we return to our prayer books, page 282, and rise for Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי
At this point in our service, we come to the words of the mourner's Kaddish. These words honor the lives and the memories of those in our families and communities who we have lost. As part of honoring them, when you hear the name of someone you are remembering, only if you are so inclined, we invite you to rise in honor of their memory. At the conclusion of all of their names, we will invite the entire congregation to rise as one sacred community to join in words of Kaddish. In the last 7 days in the period of Shiva, we remember Robert Kaplowitz, brother of Jerry, uncle of Tracy, Scott, Allison and Cindy, great uncle of Reed, Joey, Spencer, Russell, Samantha, Max, Matthew, Haley, and Sophie. We remember Elaine Freinberg, wife of the late Leonard, mother of the late Peter, mother of Mitchell and David, and grandmother of Anthony and Charlotte and Jonathan and Caroline, and great-grandmother of Peter. We remember Martin Schwartz, husband of Adrian, father of Nan and Susan, grandfather of Perry and Jeffrey and James and Joshua, and Benjamin and Zachary and Samuel. And we remember Louis Kress, survived by his beloved Ethel, the father of Mindy and Eileen and Stephen, grandfather of Rebecca, Jeremy, Scott, and David. In the period of Shloshim, the 30 days of mourning, we remember Stuart Savitt, Mitchell Bloom, Muriel Caden, Richard Zeitlin, Pearl Schottenfeld, William Ornstein, and Lynn Kramer Goldfarb. And on their anniversary of passing this Shabbat, their yahrzeit, we remember Helen Altman, Fanny Foster Altschuler, Matilda Weil Beck, Joy Ellen Bernstein, Helen S. Beck, David H. Bierman, Gwen Schaffman Block, Jules L. Clayman, Charlotte Molman Cohen, Ruth J. Cohen, Stephen E. Curtis, Esther Eisenberg, Walter Essenfeld, Julian Feldman, H. Phoebe Fink, Howard Fishkin, Diane C. Freed, Vivian E. Geltzeiler, Dr. Donald K. Gilbert, Harold H. Goldberg, Jr., Evelyn L. Goldsmith, Evelyn Goldsmith, Wallace Green, Edith Gruber, Jerry Harwood, Bernard Hellring, Jill M. Holtz, Morton Hyman, Hilda Israel, Ronald Juster, Gustav Kahn, Amelia S. Kalb, Celia Jackson Carpelis, Myron M. Kreidel, Georgia Kronberg, Donald Morchauer, Matilda Metzger, Clara Bell Nussbaum, Lester Osberg, Jack Perlman, Alex Phillips, Saul S. Rachmiel, Miriam Rand, Alvin M. Rickel, Johanna Ruth, Samuel Rothfeld, Chester A. Rubin, Frederick H. Samuels, Ignaz Schoenwalter, Perry Shore, Maud N. Schwartz, Burnett W. Strauss, Robert S. Sunheimer, Richard D. Turtletaub, Samuel Weinberg, Rose C. Wexler, Frederick Zissou, and Lillian Zissou. Zecher Tzadik Livracha, may each of their memories ever be for a blessing. We find the mourner's Kaddish on page 294. Please rise. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach hirtei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, b'agala uv'izman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mivarach leolam ulamei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shemei dekudsha b'richu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amin ram ve'alma ve'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru, amen. Osei shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to people everywhere. As together we say, amen. Please be seated. Just a couple of announcements as we begin to bring our service to a close. I hope you picked up an order of worship as you walked in. Folks at home, it's also available in the chat. Rabbi Sternberg spoke about Martin Luther King, and next Friday night will be our annual MLK Shabbat, something we take a lot of pride in, and you'll see a really special, we'll be continuing the theme of music, a special sermon in song next week that will be led by Matt Turk, our music director, Cantor Fishbein, of course, and our whole musical team. It's going to be very special, and I'm really looking forward to it. So we always want to thank the Dreyfus family who helps to support that program. All the information is in there, and you'll hear a lot more about all of that next week. Tomorrow morning, of course, Torah study, 8:45 in the morning. Just during this period, we are staying on Zoom, so that information can be found in online and also in your weekly email. Lots of other things, but most excitedly for many people in this room is that tomorrow morning you have a 2-for-1 special, which are the Beagleson boys who have been working very hard for this special moment in their lives. So we'll be very formal. Zachary, Owen, please come on up to the bima to make Shabbat evening Kiddush and Motzi. You're going to come to the Cantor side. And I'll say that the Kiddush cups you will make Kiddush with are gifts to you from our Congregation's Women's Association and Brotherhood. Your mom, for many, many years, led our Women's Association and helped to make all of this happen. So it's a special passing down here. And we are really proud of you. And mazel tov to your family.
They said thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, you can take your mask off.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'v'ratzon Chin lanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit ki hu yom techila lamikra'ei kodesh zecher litziat mitzrayim ki vanu v'charta ve'otanu kidasha mikol ha'amim V'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava u'ratzon chinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mechadesh haShabbat.
Take a sip. That's good, right?
It's very good.
I had the whole thing. I did the whole thing.
I didn't.
Okay, we're going to do Motzi. Ready?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lehem min haaretz. Amen.
Got a little giggle in there, but you mostly held it together. Here you go, guys. Here you go.
I finished very good.
Oh, this one's yours. I'm sorry. He wanted me to know he finished his juice. Okay, you can head back to your seat.
Thank you.
Good start, boys. We conclude our service with the words that we use to begin, Ozi v'zimrat yah, vayihili lishua. May this song and all the songs that we sing together, the ones that we sing out loud and the ones that, as Rabbi Perlman mentioned earlier, that we sing in our hearts, sustain us, strengthen us, and indeed bring us peace. I believe it was on page 343. Yes, 343, Ozi v'Zimrat Yah. Please join us.
God, we ask that you guard our going and our coming into life, into peace each day of our lives. May we never forget to pack our timbrels, as inconvenient as it may be, because you never know when there's going to be a time for singing, for dancing, for celebration, this day and all the days that we can imagine to come. As together we say, Amen. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.